last week you say fuel prices na akosoro if 12 call be 14 na enim say ne say wahwe petita kremu a fuel price na akosoro and I be kosoro in this pricing window.
Many amedase every said neye Saturday nti anhana OMC do don antimi answer san omobo bia on be sambo no edajo na the center kremu ade me ko dey say diesel no betting adu 19 Ghana cedis 20 pesos bi kra betting aton abro 19 Ghana cedis 20 pesos per liter and a petrol also beton over 16 Ghana cedis per liter nti the no and cost because one product price no we drama so no akosho diesel for example no cost about 21% or the total the previous window product price on the international market now cost by about 21%. Petrol cost by about 11%, so the total product price of the just ended window year and LPG so about 2%. Unfortunately, no CD no depreciated by about 1%. Okay, a fan go no more. CD no everyone there. Mabo no ntimi nkosoro sa. But the CD no so na ho den so che. Mabo no epejam kakra so. Okay, a boya esa America say diesel bitima for 19 and I say do na beton abro 19 is because one drama is bona kosoro na CD no so depreciate. You can be boma and my price in the page musa.
You now twa mu ne BDCs no kasa Dr. Patrick Ofori or no can say OSN US Israel Iran ntokwe na say who say Yemen Saudi Arabia and so ntokwa e dey ahihye so a na is oma block Red Sea back Strait of Hormuz back e no ka ho bi na ma adwama so de no akosoro e na also de be share.
Yes. No kahon, but before say no crab, but now already no. And Tokwano deplete a lot of infrastructure, deplete and as not disrupted the supply of other market. For example, Russia it may supply to the European market and other markets across the globe. But also Ukraine Tokwano, it is almost targeted various energy infrastructure, especially. Petroleum energy infrastructure. Nti Ukraine for no toko Russia refineries na Russia and so atwako Ukraine refineries, and these are supplies and give it to my international market. There's a shortfall there. And sana earlier war na America and Iran shall more destroy some critical infrastructure and also oil infrastructure in most of these countries around the southwestern Asia, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, UAE, a problem. America also destroy Iran, so the infrastructure. So already now infrastructure not depleted, and I feel more rehabilitated and also more revitalized some and on top of that into creating a lot of shortfall. Second into Koya by beche and Sanabia Timia stabilize the fuel market and Necrano. So me hear Jama so I say next window crown diesel best cost because currently diesel on the international market is around 1,300 and that is quite bad.
Not just ya more abosu mu ya enche abosu mu den say fuel no de kwa esoro na beko.
Yeah. The market is very volatile, very unpredictable, and very uncertain. But as of now, I can say the data our international market now. That is next window no 16 for the best cost, especially diesel. However, no be to miss because we had window where MPA is diesel no $1,200 per metric, and the share bore. Now make some medical catches or head on my so 1,300. Say, but now to me, you day enemy bono anti-man pajamusa because of say some diplomatic reasons and also much me I hold anya ceasefire bia na ebo no nkosro but matisa America for no some person almost started targeting energy infrastructure or Iran. What it means is that Iran is likely also going to target energy infrastructure in allied countries. This Iran is targeting energy infrastructure in allied countries. Na a normal situation no are very dire kakra and a bit more affected and a bit more bono up a democracy in 1,300 year kind. Na and also the and Honson so abrayan.
Yes, once any fancy for Casa be say a confollow come so come home. It is a German so near my didn't say I always say DNS say a boy home.
Yeah, there was a boy home. I think that the first point in this as Africa no there was a starting a benchmark of our pricing of petroleum products. I think that Ghana and Dangote was saying a harmonized system. Harmonized system, maybe to my set here benchmark prices. I think it's very critical. And to me, benchmark price, you can price takers of the international market, and then also a high end. We need to. Secondly, internally, I will say, products na yedema to anything to instead of say to price in dollars, and I will say a more in cities. So it takes away or addresses the issues of forex. Take away now my board no abafum. Third, and I said, it was what I say, a pricing regime, here a very flexible pricing regime. I think that especially fiscal policy within the pricing of petroleum products. Because the anya is a flexible kakra, a bibiana, a drama is born by Costrono, was a high MP. So the Indian are interested by flexibility. The fiscal regime is flexible. You just need to set a benchmark or a seal. For example, look other countries are. They know the critical role fuel prices and as a fuel price plays in inflation stability. Into your more peggy fuel price, or my no, you heard say fuel price I buy or should be 16 Ghana cedis. Assumption say Crony Ghana, 16 Ghana cedis. And the abbreviate fuel price bedroom 16 Ghana cedis. Because of so flexible fiscal policy, it relaxes taxes automatically. The amount taxes buffer, so that tax be a bit can one man do 16 ye money no buffer. Sansuna the fuel or lower thresholds and fuel price eba be 13 Ghana cedis and I said 9 Ghana cedis as we have experienced in 2025 now. The fiscal policy be adjusted taxes upward kakra. Now ama stabilize maybe at 13 because our minimum threshold is 13. So I think that as a country we need our flexibility in our fiscal policy within the petroleum downstream. See, I say you also depending on fixed regime where you need seal, you need minimum benchmark and floor. Now you cost it is likely going to affect your macroeconomic stability because there's a diesel drew 21 by 16th. Now say it means that inflation because classifications of baskets, and I say CPI classifications, we have what we call the utility classification, which includes housing, energy, fuel, and others. And waiting also in CPI, we waiting also say fuel no go to pay. What we say, inflation no be cost. Inflation no cost. Na say wait here. Na the general CPI na be announce and here na cost. Cost no. That be American yekrum ha. Bank of Ghana bet never be aka say there's excess liquidity. And for that matter, we need to increase interest rate. Policy rate. Or increase the policy rate. It creates a boomerang effect on the whole macroeconomy, and it creates a lot of uncertainties. So I think that we need a very flexible fiscal regime within the petroleum industry to address. So even it has socio-economic impact.
Yeah.
Because when you but it means that real income is declining. And your disposable income is also declining.
Sure.
Real income in terms of fuel, also baby and some what you must latest now also
Yeah.
The unya size can also disposable income also savings, no savings, no investment. So I think that your policymakers, that's how they should see the petroleum downstream and pricing of petroleum products. But say if you say previous I think that and also was so can say at my economy, especially at the time price and so we need to address that. Now, lastly, America Tor and Century are doing quite well, doing about 70% of and also I was a certain benchmark in terms of the landed cost of the product, because the product if you are on the neighbor, the landed cost is different, and the product also refined the landed cost is different. The MPA and the Ministry of Energy and Transition, since these refineries are improving on capacity or more increasing capacity, production increase here, likely in future they are going to take care of the whole consumption of your country and even export. I was starting who say product need free tower. They assume landed cost you're saying, and I say the actual landed cost you're saying. Yes, so that no bit mama tower ni saying or more product price are comparatively cheaper compared to the best man on neighbor but not abua ama you benefiting from some of the refineries, because if you don't lay the benchmark and protocols well, you better find out but minimum you nyam for Soviet free so.
Suggestions out the buy man say be a can say talk yen sheto mukena then one year refinery maybe the aban and deregulation so or the FM won sem na man crank so and see income and no yen is a boy na or mine anga some fat. This is any affairs in to me it mean just subsidies.
Yeah, so these days subsidies or the bar it also has its own challenges. Subsidy for example in 2015 Ebrana cancelled subsidies I think now government of Ghana the EDC for about 1 billion Ghana cedis. I quite remember those days of senior was at Seaboard. Over 1 billion Ghana cedis. What it simply means is that those subsidies one managing the year and will create another corrupt economy where various stakeholders in the economy and various state institutions may take advantage of the subsidy and milk us and then omujaka be breed towards a yembi triadachi. So normally this time I don't even support subsidies. Nigeria, for example, has also tried their possible best to take off subsidy on the price of their products. In the subsidy they don't subscribe to, but third year me know we are going to say was say shemukina. Shemukina because to neno ultimately refinery ebeboa ama products availability in terms of supply very very stable kakra. Pricing I will say ye institute other measures to actually address the pricing issue. But in terms of product availability, the emission kanaka crabbe boy said Abansi will allocate 1 million barrels of crude at Yamato. I think Thor will need about 20 million barrels of crude a year at their capacity today. It is all the 1 million barrels, which means I was buying making sure say especially GNCC no be making sure say allocation of more crude resources and I say other IOCs no more crude allocation of more crude resources bit call Thor. I was say na otimi say Thor to refinery. I think that a best stabilizing the availability of product. And I mean, medical catch say basa answa bema yatimia who the actual cost, because store refinery in the cost of refinery yani the throughput and as a terminal charges are say product ni free GMPC ya yesu so na e batoa yani the freight cost. And see there's a more disclosure and transparency when it comes to pricing, but sometimes the product if you are on a neighbor, waiting a BDC about premium, be so premium when I mean your product, and ni boarding a big ground camp, but not the asset price. Yes. So I think that towards refining also engender a more transparency in the petroleum downstream in terms of pricing, especially seaboard foresight not addressing. So me know we are agreeing. I will say yesheto mukina, and also ama petroleum prices are comparatively stable in terms of addressing issues of insurance and addressing issues of freight.
Okay. Yo. Anyway, yen say wada je bebre yeda say.
Em say the woman na ne say say the odi kankan ne ne aban kuhia ne aboyi ti mu pose nke pese to cash into abo no so by 30%. Na yene ni kuhia ye de na nka de kokko kan nyina ne say yen ko negotiate 30% nzo obegi atu. Omani antum ne egbobo ho a be bia ba beduru na yenso ye ni Ashankafo ababekasa na numu na omonso ne ye kan se yenya abotre kaka na omo hwema ni ama etimi aba from the amaye. In fact na ne ye tie wa se no ni ehunu se enkosi na he afango bo ne be pege ne mu na so se dia na omo kan ye begi tum se yo maka na sa de be to fom ye de hwa ne se ye be kosi ye kotofu no na ye hunu ne se aba fom ase kosoro dia na yenso sesi yebo modern an yehwe ni ayebe ya yashenka dwuma ne bitima konkan ne yenso yaye fofia ntoata yete ya ne yese fango bono dezo no besan ba bituje ni mukra ebeko bebe 19 cedis a liter na petrol nso around 16 cedis a liter.
Yes,
in fact yete ne za ne yesu be bi se ko ba ne sa dia na nkomudi a yekodi ye no nti ema ye twen ye gina siesie ye ashenka bono ana ashentua bono ye twen so no na chese dia ye nida so no ankoba ne sa amaye enti no ye de dwumadi a ye di no se ye kɔ si ye kɔtɔ fango no dia ye bi hu o pomp no so na no ye gina so na ye nso e di esi ye gina ye ebi ne o kase ye hwe ni mi se enkosi juada de we are expecting say obekɔsɛ kotofu no new price and be respected but ye hwe dia ye bi hu ye hu ni sa pepepe mpenimfo nso besi nkunya na yasan abo apini ministry no na yakɔhwɛ na intumu bia sese ye de ma ya hyenkafo a ebebo adwuma no makonkan no na yɛtime dia ma hyenkafo nti no so far there adwenchi and ye possibly between one among say price new price na reflect your pump so
yo na no cheze se mu new pump price na mo besan ne aban akosi nkonya ana no de mo amo ho transport unions na
unse Ashanti abo ni yebeto so a ya ye process a ye fam ye nsori ya kekekwa na ye mfa ye bu bia ma bontin enam se ye ni ministry no ayen hihye se ni tam ye pese ye to so ye ni omu behia percentage kwa ye propose no ye de beto omo pono so a ministry no so wo team a omo so jumadi omu dia na se omo so check component ye de juma se de check na omo so check enti ekushia ye bobu ho na se arrive at a percentage a yina ye susu se bitima bo ahyenkafo na bo passenger enti no yakoba ne sa ye besan ehia na yahwe but the fact is enkushi na ahia ntumi de ebeba ti ehu se fango bo na pege ni mobile ma
na je se nei ukofoka na driver ka say bi anwumre wa huntum foforo no no ade ne petum a nsese utua
juma ne de yenye ne sa ya na ahyenkafo binum itiriru pa ne wawafo ye omne na nenam no omunya te kana se mi da so abra na chese ono nso ahiri na ohire di kan ba ni nyina mu ya na entwa yie efi se cars na enam no obi ba passenger bijina wa onim se we ye wawa anase wuku ni a passenger train so obete se ya announcement ya to ka hyentu abom na eje ya hyehyɛ bibi egu nkrata so de ama hyenkafo ansa ono nso so utua wonya ahotoso se de sese bitua na menso mitua akoba ne se wa de ope na o de kojibu bi na passenger no nso no oni abotre na unzo bi owa ne one person akra ba owa onfanche and I'm sure abonse na akofa ntokwa de aba nti no driver for no de be sira omo bia mpre ne ho anope na me te se bi bi tumu bi ba ne de keka ka ho be sira omo bebre yini mi se ne ama akosoro de na nso be bi achichira bo ne ho ali eja no be bi ese se yekofa ansa ye di tumu ba de be fa ho pepepe ne di tumu ba
you and yense wada je bebre anope ye da se
yo nso me da mas
yo itene enua Samuel Amoa oko GPRT ko ni mu a omo kasa edema won no ya bedi akiri ewo ho de awaka ne se fuel price no omo hu za akosoro but omo nim se eden ya ba ejwada de ebe kosoro nti se kosoro de a ene adrover for ebeto o masinti ade ebu mu nti no se o ye driver ni na GPRC nkasa ya mfa ope enkoto car bobu na o ye passenger so awokwa nyabotre is and saying hot was system nim mfa kuma nya de bebre bibia no ene ye de kan